White privilege is a joke. Every now and then, someone comments on some of my videos, and it's actually a very interesting topic that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a video on that. So basically, the backstory is a white dude commented on one of my videos where I was talking about a dating experience I had with a black girl, right? So a white dude commented. Now, I'm not white, right? I'm Middle Eastern. I'm tan, olive skin, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But this white dude commented, he was like, come on, bro, you got to be honest. Like, if you could choose any race to be, like, you would want to be white because, like, you get the least amount of shit for that, or something like that. Something along those lines of, like, no, you're not going to feel superior to any race if you're not white. Some shit like that. Now, I find this hilarious because I have a very interesting perspective, right? I'm not white, I'm not black, I'm, Middle Eastern, so I can look at every other race pretty objectively. The only group of people where it's like, there's supposedly bad blood is, the Arabs and the Israelis. But, no one really gives a fuck about the Israelis, so we're not talking about that. But as far as white people and black people and Spanish people, Asian people, whatever the fuck, this whole white privilege thing, I find it very interesting. Because I find that, like, every 10 years, this so-called privilege decreases more and more drastically. Now, I told the guy, I said, look, man, if we were living in the 1950s in, like, America, like, way back in the day, yeah, being white is a huge advantage, as far as not getting, like, lynched and shit like that. But in 2019, man, I'm seeing it's really starting to suck for white guys. Now, I'm not really trying to take a side or anything. I just think this is an interesting topic, this white privilege shit. But I'm not really seeing any benefits to being white anymore. Number one, we're all paying the same taxes, right? We're all paying, and this is what the pimp god, my mentor Warren Lance talked about. He said white people still pay the same 40% income tax, that every other race pays. So it's not like you're getting, like, tax privileges or anything for being white. On top of that, you've got to understand, right? Minorities, they get nervous when they're around white people, right? They get nervous when they're around white police officers because, they understand racism is real, right? But I used to have quite a few white friends, and I noticed that white people, they get nervous around every race. So, like, every other race only really gets nervous around white people. But I see white people, they really get nervous around every other race. Like me, I have black friends, I have Spanish friends, I've had Asian friends, and we would all, go to parties together and hang out and shit. And there wasn't the same tension that there is when it's like white people going to hang out with people of other races. I noticed it's like everyone in the room is looking at them like they're the devil because, the media portrays white people as the devil. So it's like everywhere you go, if you're not around other white people, you're being looked at as the devil. I've got to be honest, I don't know if I could handle that kind of pressure. The only people that I feels kind of awkward is like certain white people, because I'm like, are they like a low-key white supremacist or some shit like that? But to be a white person and everywhere you go, the media is telling every other race that you're the devil. I don't really know if I could handle that pressure, man. Another thing about this white privilege thing that I'm seeing is really turning out to be bullshit is that, like, if you want to get attractive women, you have to be white, or like white guys have an easier time getting laid or whatever. I'm really not finding this to be true, man. I mean, I've taken so many women, white girls, from white guys. And here's the thing, right? I noticed that women view white guys as good providers, but they don't really view them as the bad boys they want to fuck. Like, I noticed a lot of Asian women gravitate towards white men, but that's because they want stability, not because they really think white men are the sexiest. And a lot of Asian women actually cheat on white men with black men. Same thing with white women. Like, here's the thing, man. White women aren't even loyal to white men. So a lot of white girls, they'll get like a white guy as a beta provider, but then she's cheating on him with black guys and Spanish guys and Arab guys, like, behind his back. Like, I've got homies in the hood, man, like black guys, who are fucking the shit out of so many white women because women want everything, right? They want stability. But one thing we don't talk about is they want that good dick, right? And it's no secret that a lot of white guys are jealous of men of color because the dick game, for the most part, is just bigger with other races. Now, me being Middle Eastern, at least when it comes to the dick thing, I'm closer to being a black guy than I am a white guy, if you know what I'm talking about. So I've never had that same insecurity that I see a lot of white guys have towards like black guys about the dick thing. And let's make one thing clear. Your woman absolutely will cheat on you with a guy who has, a bigger package straight up. Like these women want everything. And I have never met a white woman who hasn't fucked at least a handful of guys from other races. So it's not like because you're white that white women are going to be loyal to you. Like white women are the least loyal race of women on the planet. So you don't even have to be white to get white women. So it's like we all pay the same taxes. I get just as many white women as white guys do. A lot of my black friends get just as many white women as white men do. The media is making it look like you're the devil and every other race is starting to hate you. And a lot of that is undeserved, but it is what it is. So when I have guys commenting like, bro, being white is still the best and, all this shit, I'm like, how? Like, it's not looking that appealing to me anymore to be white. I'm sorry. Like, it's just... Not to mention genetically, man, like a lot of this, like I see like white dudes in their 30s and 40s, like their dick starts to not work and they have to use Viagra. I don't know any of my friends, like any of my Middle Eastern friends or any of my black friends or even any of my Spanish friends who like need Viagra to get their dick up. Like, I gotta be honest, man. It's been proven that like Europeans just kind of have weaker genes as far as that goes. Now, this isn't even me trying to shit on white people. It's just I'm making a valid objective analysis. So I'm just not seeing why it's so great to be white anymore. Like, look, if we were living back in the slave days and it's like you got to be white or you got to be black, yeah, no shit. I'm like, all right, I'd rather be a white guy. But like in 2019, where everyone is kind of getting fucked equally out of their money, women are sleeping around with everybody. I just don't see any big advantages to being white. I remember I used to work this 9 to 5 and this old white guy was working the same job as me and he's like in his 60s and he has 50 years experience, but they would discriminate him because he's older, and ageism affects men of all races. So we're working like the same shitty office job and I was like 20 and he was like 60. And he used to make like 6 figures, but because he got older, they would lay him off and the only job he could get was like this entry-level job that I was working. And me and him were talking, and he straight up admitted to me, he's like, look, man, besides just getting a little bit more leniency in court when I commit a crime, there isn't really any benefits to being white. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, look, if you get some legal problems, like you commit a crime or something, yeah, you will get a little more leniency as a white guy in some cases, a lighter jail sentence or whatever. But that's about it. I'm not noticing anything else that makes being white so amazing. And these days, with everything that's going on with Donald Trump and how they're painting white people as the devil, I have white guys who come up to me and they're like, bro, everywhere I go, like people of other races are looking at me like I'm the devil, I'm like, I don't know if I could handle that kind of pressure, man. I think back in the day, being white was better, but this day and age, as a man of color, I really don't feel like I'm missing anything. I mean, I really don't. I'm getting everything white men get and more. So dude, I fuck more white bitches than anything. Like, I get more white women than I get black women, than I get Spanish women. White women are the easiest women on the planet, in my opinion. So I don't understand this whole white privilege thing anymore. And I don't, if I'm all over the place in this video, I apologize, but when dudes hit me up saying like, bro, it's still better to be white, I'm like, I don't really see it. As a man of color, I can go to other countries. I can live in the Middle East comfortably. If America ever goes to shit, I could easily just go live in the Middle East, like no problem. Like, a lot of these white guys, where are they going to go if their country goes to shit, and where they really feel accepted? You know, Europe is going to shit too. So I don't know, man. It's just I'm not really seeing the benefits anymore, and this isn't even me trying to like shit on white people. I'm just making an objective analysis where I don't see what's so great about being white, honestly. So when I have white guys trying to convince me like, bro, it's still the best thing to be. I'm like, you sound like you're trying to convince yourself when you're telling me this. Like, I don't see it. I really don't see it anymore.